Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Previously On. I am your host Lemus, and with me, as always, is my co-host Digital Dachi.
With a
This
very
is
itchy
the
eye,
get that
apparently.
I've got a sore throat apparently. This is the week of September the 24th, 9/24 for you number heads out there. Yeah, so it's going to be a
It's
little
very
bit different
numberist of you.
format. Thank you. I think. Be a little bit different format tonight. Probably a shorter episode. Like I said, I don't know where the sore throat came from, but just a sore, hard to swallow kind of throat ordeal. I'm guessing probably something to do with the weather. It's been kind of crazy, like the changing between hot and cold. We're
Yes
trying
and
to
no.
shift over into fall,
Sorry.
and
I
I
thought
see
it was
what you did
funny.
there. I see what you did there. Um, but yeah, it's starting to turn fall here, which so it's a lot of hot and cold stuff, and a lot of allergy season back. I've been fighting allergies for a little while, so I'm assuming and hoping that that's all this is, but in the meantime, it still stinks. But we'll do a quick. We'll do a quick of the kind of going over what we normally do. To recap on our weeks, and then I got a few topics to discuss. One is a news topic, hot news for this week, and then the other one is just a fun kind of dive conversation for Dachi and I to get into. So let's start with the obvious. What you been into this week, buddy?
Lots of Star Wars and World of Warcraft. I do have with me my favorite sauce ever, Chick-fil-A sauce.
Nice.
Sits on my desk at all times. For those people that say I should refrigerate it, you're probably right. Will I do that? Probably not.
I mean, back in the day, they used to keep ketchup. I mean, even ketchup mustard, like they sell outside of like a refrigeration thing, and it says keep refrigerated after opening. But if you go to like a diner or like especially the old school diners, they just had them sitting out like those. They
They
weren't.
still do. I mean, look at like if you
Yeah,
go to Applebee's or something, the ketchup's sitting there on the table.
right. Or like ketchup packets. Yeah, so like I don't think it's too
Oh,
bad for like.
girl, I gotta tell you though,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, I had some steak at Applebee's the other day.
Mhm.
Salivating just thinking about it.
That sounds good.
I asked for it medium rare, and it was more rare than medium. But
Yeah.
geez Louise. Louise is being brought into this. It was so tender. I couldn't even cut it with a steak knife. It just fell apart. It was so good.
That's when you
Like
know.
whoever made that steak needs a raise.
Hats off to the chef.
God, it was so good. Like I ate it in like 16 boneless buffalo wings, and I was just like ready to die afterwards. It was so good though.
Think I've ever had the no, I've not had the steak at Applebee's, but I will say I've had their ribs. They're boneless or no bone in. They're half rack ribs, and it's the same way. Their ribs are really good. Whoever does the meat there, it's super tender, super juicy, really good barbecue sauce. So I know the ribs are really good. So I can believe you when you talk about the steak being that good. But yeah, I don't blame you at all, dude. Like that sounds amazing. I've never been a big steak person, but I do appreciate a good steak every once in a while, if that makes sense.
No, it was good. It was good.
I'll have to try it
Uh,
sometime.
what else? And used to I didn't like buffalo wings, but ever since I started eating them, I can handle them better. But it's got to be like Applebee's.
Yeah,
Their buffalo sauce is
they're
really
really good
good.
buffalo wings. Yeah,
Cause I tried it at we went to lunch at Wings and not Wings and Rings. Yeah, I guess it was Wings and
wings and
Ring
rings. Yeah,
over in London one day, and I
yeah,
tried theirs, and it was just like more sour than anything.
yeah. It's not as good. I don't like the like we went there once back when they first opened, and me and my wife both are big buffalo chicken, spicy chicken people, and yeah, we didn't like it over there either. Again, I just kind of always assumed it was just a bad experience because we only went there the one time.
And
But
don't get me wrong, they're like burgers and stuff. They're great, but their wings were
yeah, I've never had
lackluster
their
at
burgers.
best.
I may have to try their burgers sometime. But yeah, the we went. This has been 2 or 3 years ago, so like I said, they may have gotten better, but sounds like not really from your opinion. And I mean, I trust you, so
Other than that, I do have a new do. Changed a little.
Nice.
It's not as long and
I do
shaggy.
too. So I'm wearing a hat. So, 'cause I've not got mine yet. I'm gonna try to get mine tomorrow, depending on how I'm feeling with this throat issue.
Halloween's around the corner, and I couldn't be happier. The weather's finally started changing to fall.
It is
for
nice,
those that play World of Warcraft, if you have the Wandering Ancient mount, which most everybody does, it's this. Well, you don't play, but it's this tree that you ride on. It's a mount. It's a tree that, depending on the season, the leaves change colors. It just switched from summer to fall. So now my tree that was green is now like orangey and stuff.
That reminds me, and I forgot to show you yesterday, when we do get back on Star Wars to play, I've got to go show you that planet I was telling you about that's basically like perpetually fall all the time.
So he asked me, for those that don't, like, with the backstory, he asked me, what is one planet that I would want to live on? Or we were talking about what planet we would live on in the Star Wars universe. And he asked me what I thought he would live on. And I said, well, if it's Alderaan, you're going to be highly disappointed in a few hundred years. Or 1,000, I guess. How far back is that game placed compared to the...
Well, the game is... Well, yeah, compared to the newer one.
Compared to the movies.
Compared to in-game level of Alderaan, yeah. I don't know. That is a good question. I will go ahead and try to research for us. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. Alderaan is beautiful.
I mean, it was beautiful.
Was beautiful. Right, because this was a long time ago in the galaxy. Okay. Okay, it is said... Okay, so the events of the original trilogy, which is 4, 5, and 6, Old Republic is... It is put around 3,600 years before. So even if I did live on Alderaan, I'd be dead well before that ever happened.
It's just wild that 3,600 years have passed, and their technology has not evolved even further than what it was.
Right. That's one thing that I always
mean, they have sleeker looking droids and sleeker looking, like, even the, I don't know. It's a game, whatever. I don't know why I'm trying to put so much, I don't know why I'm putting so much thought into it.
It says the assumed oldest character from the movies, I think, is Yoda. He is around 2,700 years away from being born at this point in the timeline.
That's a lot of years.
That's a lot to take in, yeah. So you got to think, like, they leave a nice little cushion there. But no, yeah, Alderaan is a beautiful planet. But ever since I found Voss with one of my other characters, where it's like just fall, it's like orange and red trees and these big, beautiful, picturesque mountain peaks, and the grass and stuff is like this yellow and orange color. I just live there forever. And I don't know if it stays that way. I want to do more research and see if that is really like just the whole planet of Voss is just always perpetually fall. But at least in the game at that time period, whenever you go there, it's like that, and it makes me happy.
Unless it's like that mount, and they've got it set up to where that planet changes based on the time of year. That would be cool. Be weird, but it'd be cool.
I don't know that it does, because I've got pictures from when... Well, no. No, wait. I don't know. I'll do research, because I've got screenshots from when me and the wife played 2 or 3 years ago.
You said it's a planet called Voss, right? I can't really look up stuff because I use this rig to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look it up on my phone though.
Okay. It brought up Voss water.
Yeah, I typed in Voss Star Wars.
Voss
apparently, it's a species. Apparently.
Okay, but the planet of the same name. There it is.
So, it says was. It's in the Outer Rims. Why does it say was? Did it blow up?
No, I don't know.
So Voss is
This picture of it
used
looks
by
different.
Sith for resources.
Huh. See this page here. Overview, sentience.
And look at us doing research while recording.
I know.
So
Well, anyhow, the point is, I'll show you the game. We'll post some screenshots.
I'm looking
or
at
something.
a screenshot here.
Okay, but is
I don't
it
know how
like-
well it's folly. I don't know if it's gonna translate well off the.
Yeah, that's what it looks like in the game. Like, dude, and the whole planet looks like that, or at least everywhere you can travel in the game looks like that. It's amazing, and it's beautiful. They got some picturesque scenes. They got big like temple things. I dig it. How did we get off on this tangent?
Because we were talking about
Oh, you were
the
talking
World of
about
Warcraft
fall.
mount, the fall.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you talking about Halloween and fall coming in this week. Yeah, because the 22nd, which was 2 days ago, it was the first official day of fall. So
which is when the mount, like literally that day was when the mount changed. It was green the day before. It hit like 3 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast because obviously it's 12 over there on the West Coast, and bam, the leaves on it changed.
I wonder. This is going deep cut nerd here. I wonder how that affects Ints, like in Lord of the Rings, Treebeard and the Ints, which are like the giant tree creatures. For those of you,
I
who
would
don't know.
imagine they would have to hibernate in the winter, right? Like they couldn't.
That's what I was wondering. Like, do they? Because there's no way like they would just die because Treebeard's been around for like how long? Years, he said.
Right.
So like, but like their leaves die, but they don't die, which is still a weird concept.
Well,
It's almost like your hair falls out every time. Like every year, all your hair falls out, and then it just grows back. Which I mean, I guess you shave, your hair grows up, but
well, the thing
just
is,
weird.
like in actual science, trees, the reason that the leaves fall off is it pulls the nutrients out of the leaves back into the core of the tree to help it sustain through the winter.
through the winter, so it is almost like a
So-
hibernation. So you would think an int would
Yeah.
do kind of similar thing. They would suck all that into themselves. Leaves would fall out. They'd go into like a little sleep, and then in spring start growing the leaves back and start the process of photosynthesis and
Photosynthesis.
yeah, whatever.
Words.
Whatever. Words.
Whatever.
We do words good. So yeah, pretty much not been a lot going on here. We've been getting ready for the baby stuff.
Oh yeah. For those that don't know, little baby Ivy is probably going to be here next week.
Yeah. Next previously on may have to do
May-
on like Wednesday or Thursday
Yeah.
or the next week.
We
Because-
may be postponing, or I may do it alone. I don't know how I'll do it alone, but
Fair enough.
figure something out. Maybe something will happen. We'll figure something out. We're
Something will
professionals.
happen. But Friday is next Friday is our induction day. It's when we go to be induced on October the 1st. And then after we get induced, they say it's pretty much just up to the baby. She could, after being induced, it could come right then, or it could take several hours, could take several days. Just depends on the baby. Said it's always different, so you never know. But we've been trying to get everything ready for that. We got the bassinet in this week, which was one of the biggest things we needed, but we got it. And now we've got sheets on the way for the bassinet because it's a $50 bassinet and it didn't come with sheets, which is odd to me. That's how they get you. Like they didn't even come with just like a cheap sheet with it. It's just like, here it is, buy your own sheets, which are then most of the sheets are usually $20, $30. Luckily I found some for like 20, but they all had really good reviews. The bassinet we got had good reviews. It looks really nice. It's a really pretty bassinet. And I think it's going to work. It's got like a little basket on the bottom, and it's even got a canopy on the top that closes. I'll try to like post a picture of it or something. But it's got like a nice little canopy that you can close. Like a lot of people in the reviews were saying it's good if you got like pets to keep pets out of there. Or just if you just want to kind of put a little more coverage. Or what a lot of people said it's good for, especially having that canopy, is to take the baby outside. So that way, because it's got like this mesh, so it'll still get like a breeze, or she can still hear and kind of look around. But the top part, it zips up. So you ain't got to worry about bugs and stuff getting down in there, or too much sun getting in there.
Well, you got to think,
wanna-
babies, when they're first born, like, for the first, like, 3 or 4 days, she's going to barely be able to open her eyes because their eyes
Right.
are literally not ready for jack.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. So like but even as she gets older, I think it said it goes all the way up to like 35 pounds. which is good because I mean I don't know.
It's like
I know
one of my feet.
right, but that's what I'm saying. But like once she gets old enough, we've got the crib and everything together, so switch over to that. So this weekend, this weekend, tomorrow, I'm gonna go and get the car seat put into the car. I'm gonna clean it out real good and get the car seat put in. And we've almost got the hospital bags packed. I think we've just got to pack some of my clothes, some of my wife's clothes, and then when the day comes, we'll have to make sure we got our phone chargers and all that stuff, all the electrical and cords and stuff. But those is kind of hard to pack right now because we're still using them for another week. But yeah, we've got not just the hospital bag packed, but my wife's been working really hard this week. She sterilized all of the bottles, all the pacifiers, all of the like breast pump stuff. Like everything's been sterilized and cleaned and organized. She's got like stuff in the actual nursery that's organized, but she's also got this bucket where she put a couple bottles, some diapers, and all this stuff to keep in the room while Ivy's in the bassinet and sleeping in here with us. We got some of her pacifiers, got her little. It's a thing. Hang on, I'll show it off on camera because it's right here. It's this little thing. It's like a dragon, but it's attaches to a pacifier, so it like holds onto here, makes it easier to hold on to the pacifier. Little orange Charizard looking outfit. So there's that. That's pretty much been what we've been up to. Other than that, just again, same, playing a lot of Star Wars, Old Republic.
Yeah, some Pokemon Go has been played.
Yeah, I've played some Go
It is
this
Fashion Week for people. I think it's up till Saturday. You can catch certain Pokemon with hats.
I got a Krogunk with a backwards cap.
I got a Krogunk with a hat. I've got a. Why can't I think of
Furfrows.
Yeah, I've got four or five of those. And I did the thing where you take the picture of it for the challenge.
Good. I did that one. The only thing I've not done is Battle of Fashion Trainer, which are at Pokestops, but I don't have no Pokestops close by, so.
Applebee's is actually a Pokestop, I found out, but I need to get Pokecoins because I refuse to spend money on that game.
That's fair. Well, you need to find a gym.
I do have a Blastoise, though. I evolved
a gym around here.
I evolved my Squirtle that I was using as a buddy. Well, I actually changed my Squirtle that was a buddy to a different Squirtle that was stronger, which made me feel really crappy about it. But he has now been since turned into a Blastoise.
We'll see your Blastoise. And I will say I've also taken a starter all the way to the third evolutionary.
I'm assuming it's going to be Charizard.
It was not. I wished it was, but no. It wasn't like by my choosing. It was just because I lucked out. On the community day, I think it was a community day last week, was for Oshawott.
Oh, you got the Oshawott evolution one.
Yeah, and I got a shiny version. So I have the Samurott, which is the big samurai. I got the big sword head, but he's a shiny, which is I'm really excited about.
Well, that's pretty neat. I didn't even think about that. I've seen a lot of people with shiny Umbreons, which for those that
that's cool.
I plan on trying to get a shiny Umbreon because it's got blue like on its spots. But it's gonna be great, I think.
I'm excited for that. So without further ado, if you want, I wanted to get into some news topics this week, and get your thoughts on it. So there's a big news thing that actually just happened today, as we are a superhero channel and primarily, not a Sidekick Productions, and we're big Uber nerds here. There's been a new thing that came out today and happened today. Yeah, I think everywhere's been reporting on it today pretty much, but I wanted to talk to you about it and fill you in. So Disney is filing multiple lawsuits to maintain control of some of their Avengers characters and Marvel characters.
For what reason? Because people are starting to realize that Disney kind of monopolized it, or?
So basically what had happened, and apparently this is something that there's already several court cases where there's a precedent for it. It happened with the Jack Kirby estate back in the day, and it actually even happened over at DC Comics with Superman a little while back. Now, in both cases, the court ruled in favor of the comic companies, and which is probably what's going to happen here. A lot of people are kind of nervous that, and a lot of media things are reporting, oh, Marvel may lose Spider-Man and the Avengers characters and not be able to use them in comics or movies. But they're saying a lot of stuff saying like don't panic about that yet, because this has happened several times before, and it's something Marvel's went through before, and they know what they're doing, and they've already beat it once, and they can always refer to that other case in this one to kind of help, swing the odds in their favor.
Yeah.
But it's a double-edged sword. So what's happening is the families and heirs and estates of some of these comic book creators we're trying to regain the copyrights and the basically rights in general to some of the characters. So, like, I think one of them is Steve Ditko's son or nephew. Steve Ditko was famous for helping create Spider-Man, and then you had a couple other big names in there that was like their sons or cousins or family members of these famous artists who like created Spider-Man, Doctor Strange. All these characters are saying, "Hey, my father, my uncle, my family, they created that character. We want the rights for it. Their estate, we deserve the rights for it. We want them back. We want the rights to do with them what we want." Marvel's saying, no, those are our characters. So basically, the way it works is Marvel saying, when they made these characters, it was basically under like a contract, a work for hire, work per basis contract. So Marvel hired them to create a character. They hired them to come in, create a character for Marvel Comics. They created that character. Marvel used it in the thing. So now their families years later are saying, "Hey, you owe us for that." Which is fair to a point, because they want to get recognition and want to get what they're compensated and stuff. But at the same time, like, Marvel is saying, "Okay, but you made that under our contract, basically, so it's still our character." Um, so it's the same kind of ideal as if when you're working for a company and they're paying you to come up with the ideal machine. Uh, it's just like with us, right? So if we bring somebody on to Not a Sidekick Production, and they're to be start a new series, but on the same channel, and when they're doing that series, kind of like the Levi Leather thing, say they come up with a character or a series called Bubblegum Train. I don't know. They come up with a series called Bubblegum Train, and their
Darn,
character.
you outed me.
Oh, their character is the bubblegum conductor, and it skyrockets, and the character's well beloved, and people love it and everything. And then, so say even after that person moves on, or after they pass away, or maybe we keep it going under Not a Sidekick Productions because they was working for us at the time they created everything. We, later on we cast another character, or another person maybe comes in to join, and we have them play the bubblegum conductor, or we merge in the Bubblegum Train series with another series, or start merchandising that. And then one of their descendants later on down the line is like, "Hey, we want to take Bubblegum Conductor and use him for our stuff," or "We want to take him and sell him to somebody else because my great uncle or great grandfather helped create that character." But they created that character because we brought them on to do that. We brought them on to create a new series and a new show for Not a Sidekick Productions. They did that under that belt, therefore making it still our intellect. It's their intellectual property, but it's our like contractual property. And I think that's where, from my understanding, that's where the kind of thing is getting hung up at, right? To Marvel, it's their contractual property. They brought these guys in to create characters for their comic book company, and they did that, and now their families want some kind of recompense because of the intellectual side of it. But that's the whole big thing that's kind of blowing up today. So it's a very landmine kind of a situation, but I thought it is kind of interesting where there is that kind of there's a two sides to it, right? And just curious your thoughts on where you fall on that. If you create a character for a company, but then it's still your character, you came up with that idea, but
I
you're doing it
mean,
under contract for them. So how does that come back around? It's tricky, but
I mean,
but it's also
there's
fascinating.
a lot of legal jargon in there, I'm sure.
Right. And like I said, I'm no legal or any of that by no means. I'm no professional. We're professional YouTubers. I mean, we're not that. We're professional. I don't know if we're professional anything. We're professional
Professional dum
nothing.
dums.
We're professional nothing. But
So
this is just my geeky
like-
opinions and thoughts on things.
like my thought is, it's like when you were telling me about, because I don't know much about Marvel. I'm more of a DC person. When you were telling me about how Stan Lee just about quit, and then the Fantastic Four kind of like saved him from walking out. So now that Stan Lee's gone, God bless that man's soul for giving us everything he has. If his kids all of a sudden want to say, "Hey, Fantastic Four is ours now,"
They are. They are.
it is. But at
In
the
with
same
these
time,
families, yeah,
it's
in with the families
contractually
that are doing this,
obligated to be-
families are amongst the ones apparently it's
well,
his heirs and stuff are seeking also. It's them, Steve Ditko's kids, like yes, but Stan Lee's heirs are apparently somehow involved as well.
Well, what I was going to get at is they are entitled to say that is part of their family legacy,
Right.
but contractually, I'm sure there was a contract drawn up well before Stan Lee ever got as old as he was, saying that the Fantastic Four would forever be home to
Property of
Marvel.
Right. And that's where the catchy and like I said,
That's where the legal jargon comes in, and I mean, I'm no lawyer by any means. I'm one of
Right.
these, I could give two craps less about laws. Well, not again, about laws, but like lawyers.
and I guess
Some
what
laws are
did
good,
happen,
some are not.
I guess it has happened before. Apparently, with the estate of Jack Kirby, who did the X-Men and I think Thor, had the similar issue. But again, they ended up settling out of court. Apparently, in DC Comics, there was an issue with the creators or some of the co-creators of Superman. There was two guys, I don't remember the names, but they had the same issue where they were suing over, hey, we basically helped create Superman, and DC's like, good luck. But I mean, it's so, but in both
Well,
of
it's
those
also
cases,
like, and I've seen this in the place I work for, but I mean,
Right.
you've got a room full of lawyers for this company. You or I are going to have one lawyer because we can't
Right.
afford a room full of lawyers.
right?
So, I mean,
So-
we're really just going to get a settlement and hope it pleases us. And otherwise, if we push too hard, they're going to be like, you know what? We're not settling. You just lose.
You're not getting anything. Yeah, you're just
Take
you're
what you
left
can
with your
get.
lawyer bills
Yeah.
from our one lawyer.
Take what you
Yeah.
can get and go somewhere else.
Right, and I get that.
But I mean,
yeah, I thought it
it
fascinating,
very much is like if something happened to you. I mean, obviously, I can't do Levi Leather as well as that locked up man inside your head is. But yeah, I would just not be. I would not carry that character on.
yeah. But what if you found somebody?
But
that
if I
do
could find somebody that could, I mean,
I'm telling you
Levi
right
Leather has fans. So
Right. So if you
That
found
are
somebody that was
deranged.
able to do a like modernize or do like an even halfway Levi Leather or some kind of like within that universe, or just Wallet Crashers. Take Wallet Crashers, for instance. Maybe not Levi Leather, but maybe just Wallet Crashers gets a new host, right? But then years later, Ivy grows up and she says, "Hey, I want a cut of that Wallet Crashers money because my dad was the original Wallet Crashers." Like, it's a similar thing.
Pretty
I gotta
much.
make sure. I gotta make sure to tell Ivy, like, listen,
you better be making a will out.
don't you let them recast Wallet Crashers. You avenge me. But no, I would love for it to keep going, like, because to
I mean,
me, in
that's
a way,
just the
that's
thing, right?
legacy.
Like some people are like that. They're like, I guarantee Stan Lee wouldn't want the Fantastic Four to just quit being made now. or anything
Right.
that he had a hand in, which I mean, pretty much every Marvel project had his hand in it by the end.
Yeah.
But I guarantee he doesn't want them to be like, okay, I'm gone. Here's the switch to Marvel. Dunk. It's over,
And that's
boys.
what I've seen a lot of people
I would
saying.
want my legacy carried on. Like if I ever die, I hope somebody gets my World of Warcraft account and just keeps playing it.
You keep playing it, yeah.
I don't care. Like anything I'm passionate about, my World of Warcraft stuff, my comic stuff,
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z stuff, Naruto, like all that stuff that I hold very close, I want to just
Dude,
carry on.
definitely. I mean, I think about I've thought about that with like my author stuff, with my writing stuff. I've got, and you know this, I've got so many half written or half started stories, and like ideas for stories and characters for stories, and not. I mean, even the one that I've got out, The Princess and Squire, now available on Amazon and Audible, and
Shameless
audiobook,
plug
ebook,
over
and
here.
paperback.
Shameless plug.
I've not had no sales in a while. Okay, I got to do something here.
Just don't start
I'm-
stripping.
I'm
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
drowning here. But anyhow, no. But the thing is, like, even with Princess and the Squire, right? I mean, I left the door open for a sequel. There's people that have actually told me they would like a sequel. So if something was to happen to me, Lord forbid, if it was my time, and then part of me was like, well, because it's happened before. Where like, same guy who wrote A New Hope, there's a different guy who wrote Empire Strikes Back. Or like even with like directors. I mean, granted they didn't die, but it was still you can have multiple books or even movies in a series and have them written and directed by different people that just still cohese and then put their own little taste on it. Now, granted, it didn't work so well with the Last Jedi stuff, even though I actually really liked The Last Jedi. But J.J. Abrams did the first one, Force Awakens. People loved it. It was good, as this big return to Star Wars. Then, crap, I'm forgetting his name. And I love the director. It's gonna burn me up because he also did Knives Out, which I love. Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson came in and did The Last Jedi, and people were like all upset because they're like, well, it's not the way JJ just did it. And then JJ came back to do the third one, and then nobody likes the third one. But they brought JJ back, but nobody liked it. And it's just like,
Well, I mean, if you think about it, though, it's just like Zack Snyder's Justice League compared to the other.
Joss Whedon
yeah.
one. Yeah.
People love Zack Snyder's because it's got the full 4-hour whatever
Yeah.
that it should have been, like Lord of the Rings style movie. Because I mean, the Justice League isn't something you can just cram into something. It's so long and drawn out, and it's not like how Marvel did. Marvel set everything up movie by movie. It built their universe.
They took their time.
You
DC
jump
tried to
into
cram it all
DC
into one.
and it's every bit already there. And I mean, I respect that they tried that.
Yeah.
But I've never once seen it really work, except in like animated stuff, because the animated stuff can be explored even further because animated pulls more from the comics than like a live action movie. I mean, there is comic similarities, like obviously, the characters, but you're not seeing Batman go through his traumatic bullcrap. You're already seeing a 50-year-old Batman that's been through losing Robin to the Joker, losing his half of his sanity because he's. I mean, think about how much death and destruction he's seen, and he has still not killed nobody. Because that's just his one rule. But I mean, I hate to keep coming off, but it's just it aggravates me half to death that they brought this character in, and like Ben Affleck did amazing as Batman. He had the perfect butt chin. I mean, Batman has butt chin. I don't care.
Yeah,
perfect butt chin.
He's got the cleft, yeah.
I mean, they did the Iron Man voice changer thing. Whatever. I don't care about that. Because I mean, really, if I was wearing, oh my God, where'd I go? You know my voice. Everybody knows Bruce Wayne's voice.
Well, look at the Riddle Me This, and you'll see him in Batman.
Oh God.
It's on our channel. Riddle Me This. I've got him in a Batman cowl.
He really does. It's a sight to
I
behold.
also have me in a Batman cowl.
That's just
him
weird.
in a Riddler mask.
But I mean, they already have the universe built. Batman's already. He went through getting his back broke by Bane. Batgirl's already been shot in The Killing Joke. Robin's already been killed. They never mention Red Robin because that's Tim Drake's Robin. but he's already been let loose. Nightwing's already been let loose. I mean, let's be honest. There's so much building they could have done. Aquaman's not even like Aquaman yet. He's just Arthur Curry, person with a trident from Atlantis, because he's not actually king of Atlantis yet.
True, yeah.
Like, he doesn't start that. Like, the Aquaman movie
came out
after Justice League.
Yeah.
And then Barry Allen's already the Flash with Blue Lightning, which doesn't happen until the future, which means he's already running at light speed almost, which in the movie it shows that. Which, spoiler alerts for a movie that's been out for like a year, but I mean, his going back in time is way different than what the TV show did, which I respect both of them. But Barry Allen in this movie is running so fast, it's more akin to skating, because he's so fast his feet can't literally make contact.
Right, there's no friction at all.
Yeah, he's just like skiing everywhere. That's why he runs the way he does. Everybody was giving crap about it, and I mean, when I first seen it, I was like, okay, that's stupid. That's weird. Why would anybody run that way? But it makes sense now because he's running so fast. His feet are literally like just doing this. Not even really touching the ground. They're just scooting along.
That's fascinating. Like I said, but that's what you're saying. It's the two different approaches. I mean, you got to think too, like that's the thing. Like the only other time I've seen where you throw a bunch of heroes together in one thing is X-Men. But with X-Men, they're all from the same similar kind of origin. Like, you don't have to have an origin for all the X-Men to figure out where they got their powers. All the powers came from the same place. They all have different powers and different reasons for ending up together, but all of their powers come from mutant genes. So, like, if you remember in the first X-Men movie, you had no origin whatsoever for Jean, Scott, or Storm. They were already at the school. There's literally like a flashback where Professor X is like, I've been training them here, and like Jean's throwing frisbees and Scott's shooting them, and like that's the only flashback you get or origin for their characters. He's just like, they've been here since they were kids, and that's it. That's all you need, because then you can always explore that stuff further down the road. But also because with established characters like that, to a point, because they did the same thing with Spider-Man in the MCU with the most recent Spider-Man. Where it's like,
he just jumps
y'all seen
in.
Uncle Ben die enough. Yeah, it's like y'all know how he got his powers. You know how Uncle Ben died. You know the great power, great responsibility. We're not putting you through it anymore. And so I respect that they didn't do, and that's my problem.
But see, that works, and that makes more sense because Spider-Man's done had a couple of movies. The director decided, hey, there's no reason to do this. But if you also think about it, there's certain key words, I guess, like stuff that they always say in the comics and the movies. Spidey sense. They never have once called it Spidey sense yet. They call it the Peter Tingle, which is just whatever.
Well,
and they don't ever talk about how, like in the MCU, he doesn't talk about how he got his powers. He said, I just woke up one day and I could do all these things, but when I don't do those and people get hurt, it's because of me, because I could have done something, but I didn't.
Right. Ergo, the great power, great responsibility. When you can do the things I can do, and you choose not to do them, and people get hurt because of that, then that's on you.
Yeah.
Which again, but see, and I respect, but see, and I think that was my problem with DC is. Here's the thing. I appreciate that we don't need another full-length Batman origin story, even though I am excited for the new Matt Reeves Batman with Robert Pattinson. I actually am excited for that. But I understand, like, DC kind of wanting to do the same thing. Like, we've seen Bruce's parents die just about as much as Uncle Ben, if not more so. We get it. We know everybody knows Batman. Everybody knows his backstory, but
hey, I'm just $1 million away from being Batman, just saying.
The problem is they skipped they gave us too much that was there and skipped too much. With like Spider-Man skipping his origin, you literally, that's all they skipped. He hadn't met Norman Osborn, hadn't met any of his iconic villains, hadn't lost Gwen Stacy. He literally had lost Uncle Ben and had been doing the street gig for a little bit. With Batman, like you said, they set up that this was after Killing Joke. This was after Robin died. So they give you all that and then like, don't explain anything.
Look at all the references they make. For kids or, younger generations that are growing up, which I would love to talk to children, like young
Yeah.
people that are ready to start delving into comics more, because it's not a big thing anymore. Everybody's like, oh, we're just gonna watch movies and blah 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 blah. But these kids aren't gonna get the wind up penguin reference. They're not gonna get the ha 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 all over the Robin's outfit. They're not gonna get any of the little nods
I feel
that
like they skipped too much.
Yeah, they didn't set anything up. I mean, Batman's already been around for a long time. Superman is just now starting in this universe, and I understand that's fine. But when is our backstory for Ben Affleck's Batman going to take place to where we can talk about, that version, like, because apparently Jay Leto Joker in the Suicide Squad was the one in this universe, which is fine. Jared Leto, is that his name?
Yes, Jared Leto. Yeah.
Which is fine. That Harley Quinn, fine. That right there, the king and queen of crime in Gotham City, they talk about it. Yeah. So there's a little bit of backstory, but you had to watch a whole different movie. You see him take down Deathstroke, or not Deathstroke. Was it Deathstroke? Who did Will Smith play?
Oh, Deadshot.
Deadshot. I don't know why I thought Deathstroke. But you see him take down.
Deathstroke's at the end in the first Justice League take, he was in like an after credit scene, but he apparently hates Bruce Wayne, but they didn't explain that. But yeah, you're thinking of Deadshot.
But Deadshot, he gets took down in a different movie. So that's established and set up. They talk about how Batman got Harley and all this other stuff. Like, all these different things happened in these other movies. And I really think it's back to what me and you talked about the other day, which we didn't do it on a podcast or anything, but you get all these characters on these TV shows. The Flash, Arrow, Supergirl. The second they brought Superman in on Supergirl, show got canceled. The second they bring actual Batman in, and it's a decent actor, they'll cancel everything on CW that has to do with superheroes except Batman and Superman.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, even like we talked about, like with Titans. Like I've obviously not made it as real far. We're about.
I've just been watching clips, so I mean you're further than I am technically, but it's the same thing there. They're never ever going to bring Batman, Cape and Cal in other than in that season where Nightwing's having hallucinations of him fighting.
Yeah, and again, they've brought Bruce Wayne in, the guy playing Bruce Wayne. But even with that, like you and I said, they've kind of made it now where they're constantly, it's still Teen Titans, but they're spending a lot of time in Gotham, fighting Gotham villains, meeting
especially
Gotham
season 3. Season 3, and this ain't really a spoiler, but you've got the Bat family dealing with all their crap. You've got the Scarecrow, who is like this I know the Scarecrow's always been kind of a big deal because of the way he does his stuff, but he's like a super level genius, which he is because he does all the chemical stuff. But he's being a bigger bad than almost anybody I've seen in a TV show.
Right. Which is interesting, like I said, and that's what I'm saying. So
because season 3 was supposed to be about Red Hood, and it is, but at the same time, Scarecrow was like, instead of it being Ra's al Ghul pulling the strings, it's Scarecrow pulling the strings right now, as far as I can tell. Like, I haven't watched it. I've just seen clips here and there. Don't jump me in the comics if I'm wrong, but
well, it's like again, we're in season 2, and I think we just got introduced to Connor, Superboy, and Crypto, the Superdog. But there's been, again, like we said, no mention of his two clone daddies. There's been mention, but there's no hint that either of them are going to show up, such as Superman, or Lex Luthor even. Like, they mention him by name several times.
They mention them both, because in that one episode I seen, Connor, and you'll get to it, he's like really upset with himself for not being able to do something. I'm not going to say what, but he's like, being the son of the world's strongest man and the smartest man, I should have been able to do more. I'm a failure as a Kryptonian, a failure as a human, yada, yada, yada. And he's just like beating the shit out of himself over it. So I mean,
That's what I'm saying. It's interesting how
Connor,
many.
I'm not a Superman person at all. I literally hate Boy Scout characters, which is why for the longest time that man over your left shoulder I couldn't stand. Or right, I guess, because the thing's flipped. Couldn't stand Captain America for the longest time. But he's grown on me. But Superman, I just can't get behind.
Right.
Because in a way, I am like Batman's my favorite for a reason.
Yeah.
If there is 1% or a 0.1% that he could turn on us, we have to take that. And unfortunately, it's a very Sith thing to say for those Jedi fans out there, or Star Wars fans. That has to be taken as an absolute that he would do that. Because in the future sequences, when in the movie, he is that way. Because
look at Injustice.
Yeah, and I feel like if the movie would have done better, we would have seen a whole Injustice storyline.
Oh, right.
But I mean, they screwed the first movie up, and then they re-released it as a Zack Snyder cut, which was amazing. Like, I didn't watch it, but like all the scenes that they added in that were supposed to originally be in made the movie feel more fleshed out. It made more sense.
Right.
You don't ever understand why Steppenwolf is coming to Earth, other than Steppenwolf is Darkseid's main lieutenant that comes and starts the world destruction, whatever.
Yeah.
But in this movie, when they added all the extra scenes, Darkseid looks phenomenal, by the way.
Yes.
They pull him in and say that this is the guy that everybody's working for. It's like if they wouldn't have showed Thanos at the end of the first Avengers saying, "I'll do it myself."
Yeah.
Who orchestrated this whole outfit? Like, why did Loki have this army? Why did Loki do this? Why did this happen? Why did that happen?
Yeah.
There's just so many variables. But the MCU has been setting that up for so long over the last 20 years.
Right.
That it made sense when Loki decided to attack Earth that he had an army from somewhere else, that he was working for somebody, because you know that's the type of character Loki is.
Yeah.
He wants to be the ringmaster, but he's always just one step below being the leader.
Well, I mean, that's it, isn't it? He lacks conviction.
And then he gets shot with a weapon that knocks you through a wall.
I was hoping
so that's what it does.
I'm proud of you for picking up on that. Yeah. I'm proud of you for picking up on the Coulson quote.
Respect. I do like Coulson. I hate that they turned him into an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. member. But
and then just disappeared. Yeah.
See, my dad, when he was still with us, he would watch the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff, especially when the Ghost Rider stuff was going on. Because he watched the Ghost Rider movie when it was Johnny Blaze, and he really liked that because it was kind of it wasn't a Western, but there was Western elements in it.
I mean, Sam Elliott was in it.
Yeah, and Sam Elliott's like king of Westerns.
Yeah.
But
that's a debate.
I mean, for me personally.
For you, okay.
If you want to say
that is a roundhouse.
Say John Wayne Pilgrim.
Oh no, I don't want to say that either. No, I'm sorry. I'm not. My grandfather's looking down on me and he wants to punch me right now. Probably not, but he loved John Wayne. I'm not a John Wayne fan. I'm not a big John Wayne
He's all right.
guy.
I don't like Western. I like Westerns, but I like Westerns when it's not like one big name in it that makes everybody else obsolete.
Right. Like I don't know who I would say what I would consider the king of Westerns.
Aren't you?
No. Well, I can't because I've not seen a lot of Clint Eastwood Westerns. The problem is most of the Western like characters that I really like in like the old school Western stuff, I've not really seen them in much else, and I don't know if they would qualify for King of Westerns. Like Alan Ladd in the movie Shane, I really like him, and I would almost say him. Jimmy Stewart's been in a lot of Westerns back in the day, but yeah, hard to say. But I do like Sam Elliott. Obviously, but yeah, I see what you're saying. And then the new Ghost Rider you say in Shield, because it's Gabriel Luna, I think, is in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's the new Ghost Rider with like a race car.
I don't remember. I know he drives a car.
Yeah.
And his jacket's got a U on it, and it's still leather, but
yeah, because I think the thing is he was some kind of sports car driver, race car driver when he got changed, and so his whole thing, instead of a bike, it's a race car.
But regardless, I'm more of a Johnny Blaze fan. I like him a lot. His Ghost Rider to me is the Ghost Rider.
Same.
But yeah, that was a nice long tangent on why I think Batman movies could be better.
Yeah,
God, that
and like I
went.
said,
That
I mean,
went.
it's good though. It's like I said, these are good conversations while we have this. And all that coming back to intellectual properties,
God
both
bless.
Marvel and DC. But I mean, that's the fun. I mean, this is not a Sidekick Productions. We got to have these deep dive conversations, which we will do more of. But this has been fun, and we will definitely do some more. Try to get some more videos out soon, especially once with the baby stuff. Like, it's going to be a hectic week, but hopefully after that, once we get back into a routine, again, we still have a lot of plans for a lot of different videos and different ideas. We got a lot of our old videos that we started that we're going to do more with, like the Riddle Me This and the food videos and the vault videos. We got more vlogs that I want to do. So stay tuned for all that. And you got any final thought, pearls of wisdom, pearl jams?
That's a band. I know what you were
I know.
doing there.
I know.
Even flow it, buddy.
Evil.
Oh my god, don't ever do that again. Anyway, last thing I'll say is the guy they got for Nightwing in Titans is probably perfect
yeah,
in
I
every
do
way,
agree
shape,
with
and
that.
form for a comic book character, and that's pretty much it.
He is awesome, and I'll admit, like, I was actually kind of aggravated because, as you know, again, I'm a big Nightwing fan. I got Nightwing over here. I got Nightwing on the background of my phone right now. Here, I'll show you here. I got it right here. Make sure I don't have nothing personal up here. It's just not going to work. Anyhow, I got Nightwing on the background of my phone. You see all that? Anyhow, I'm a big Nightwing fan, and when they first announced it and announced that guy, and I looked at him, I was like,
I
"Who's
wasn't sure about
this?"
him, but
Yeah, I
he's
wasn't either,
perfect.
but he's really good. I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of old that guy. So, without further ado, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, and as always, enjoy. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Out.